Okay, folks, BK Productions coming at you with another video. This time we're going to discuss being a better project coordinator. Please stay with me, stay tuned, watch till the end. Alright, so here we are with being a better project coordinator. Chances are if you're here, you know what the position is, and you're interested in how to become a better one. If you don't know what a project coordinator is and you're looking to move into it, it's a very forgiving position as far as being a general, meaning you can work in any industry you please. A project coordinator is someone who thinks in concepts and leads with ideas. The concept being any of the common project management methodologies in use today, whether that be waterfall, agile, Scrum, Prince 2, Kanban, etc. It is the basis of a project coordinator's job to lead with practice ideas while keeping an eye for innovative procedures. In other words, if you love to discover new and beneficial ways to accomplish recurring tasks, then a project coordinator could be the perfect place for you. It's pretty much self-explanatory. You coordinate the different resources and aspects of a project in order to meet the desired goals and objectives, no matter if it's a service or an actual end product. All right. So what I've done is, if you take a look at my amazing whiteboard here, I've broken it down into three parts. First part being the blueprint, which is pretty much the skills and qualifications of a project coordinator. One you should have if you want to stand out in your career field or just as in your position. The second part is the career path project coordinators should take. A lot of people, you can make a career out of being a project coordinator, but a lot of people use project coordinator as a jumping point to get into, more advanced positions within their career field. And the third part we're going to touch on is the future trends of project management, because chances are if you're in project coordination, you're under the scope of project management. All right, so let's get started. The first being the tools of a project coordinator. All right, now no matter what industry you work in, construction, healthcare, telecommunications, or even information technology, chances are you're going to be using a lot of the same common tools. To start, MS Project is a big tool, a common project management tool, if you will, that you will do well to familiarize yourself with. Put it on your resume. It'll make you stand out amongst the swarms of growing project coordinators. Another common tool is MS Visio. This one is more specific to the construction sector. And MS Visio is what they use to just build out blueprints and schematics. So if you're in the construction field, MS Visio and even CAD, AutoCAD is a great tool to have under your belt as well as on your resume. SharePoint 365 is another common tool to use as a project coordinator. What SharePoint 365 is basically a common reference for all documentations that everybody can refer to. So instead of saving something on your local hard drive that only you can see, or that only somebody who logs into the computer can see, you save it on the SharePoint. It's in the cloud, and everybody from any location of your organization can refer to that documentation in real time, if you will. So SharePoint 365 is a great tool to know how to use, and looks great on your resume. Ticketing system, or any like SharePoint, or any electronic routing system, and what it is basically a document approval system, or it's a tool that's used to input a ticket, if you will, if you do work in, say, the IT sector. A common ticketing system now, I think, is ServiceNow. And that's a pretty good tool. The end user inputs a ticket for you if they have a complaint. You assign the ticket to yourself. you complete the objective, whatever issues they may have, then you close out the ticket. So a ticketing system you may want to become familiar with as a project coordinator, and the various ones out there, but ServiceNow is one of the newer ones available. And lastly, MS Office Suite, which is a very common one. I know you thought I forgot about that, but MS Office Suite is a common one. And what it is, you know, I'm sure you know by now, that's PowerPoint, that's Microsoft Word, that's Excel, and also MS Access if you do, if your organization does use that. Now, what I want to touch on, I want to touch a little bit on Microsoft Excel, because if you use Microsoft Excel, it's a very diverse and can be a very complicated tool to use. It's one you're going to use often to just showcase project progression, if you will. You can use it to not only you know, list certain aspects of the project as far as what resources are being used, what resources are left, in a very clear and concise manner. But you can also use it to do calculations as far as the percentage of the project to be completed and things like that. A common Microsoft Excel components to use, or components that'll set you head and shoulders above the other project coordinators, is if you know how to use VBA, which is Visual Basics for Applications, and that's almost like a programming language for Microsoft Excel. So if you know how to use that, that can do well to set you head and shoulders above the rest of the pack. Not only VBA, but also VLOOKUP is a very sought after skill for a project coordinator to have. And basically, it's a lot of companies right now are dealing with big data. So if you use big data and you have an Excel spreadsheet full of big data, VLOOKUP is a common way for you to vertically look up like-minded data in a very quick way. And they have VLOOKUP, and they also have HLOOKUP, which is horizontal lookup, but vertical lookup seems to be the more common skill that employees are looking for in their project coordinators. All right, so let's move on. The second aspect of the blueprint of being a better project coordinator is the appearance and demeanor of a project coordinator. As a project coordinator, chances are you may be the first person that is introduced to any end user or customer. You are the face of the project, if you will. So you always want to have a clean looking demeanor. Depending on what the dress code is in your organization, you want to, you know, suit and tie. Or if it's more business casual, you can have a tie, or you can even nix the tie. Always with a collared shirt. You know, hair. You want to make sure your hair is good. You got a nice haircut, at least a lineup. You know, if you're female, you want to have your edges intact, or, you know, something, a ponytail, whatever you want, to just create a clean and professional look, because you would hate for an end user to see you and think, oh, this project is going to be a disaster already. I can tell. Look at who's introducing me to it. You know, that's what you want to avoid. That's your appearance. Your demeanor as a project coordinator is very important, and it's going to touch on the next aspect. But you always want to have a cool head when being a project coordinator. And I know that sounds kind of funny a little bit, but I say a cool head because as a project coordinator, you're probably used to dealing with all walks of life. And unfortunately, not everybody speaks to everybody in the same manner. And you may find that somebody is speaking to you in a manner that is unbecoming. And as a project coordinator with a cool demeanor, it's your job to not meet that energy with the same energy. All right, you never want to be accused of being unprofessional. So you always want to speak to anybody, no matter who they are, in an even, calm tone. Just so that it doesn't fuel the fire, and also because and you yourself being calm, you're more than likely to get across the message that you want to. I never saw a person who was able to speak in a clear and concise manner when they were angry. That's just me. If you know somebody like that, put them down in the comments. I'd like for them to give me lessons. When I get a little bit excited, if you will, I tend to forget thoughts, and it's best for me to just, be calm, be cool, so that I can get my point across in the best way possible without any miscommunications, if you will. All right, so your demeanor as a project coordinator, you're going to be clean, and you're always going to want to be the consummate conflict resolver. All right, that's who you are. You step in and you resolve conflicts. That's what you do. All right. Third aspect of being a better project coordinator directly reflects on what I was saying, communication. Communication is the key to being a great project coordinator. Not only are you communicating, like I said, with the end users and the customers, but if you have a project team, you're constantly communicating with your project team, and communicating with those different personalities can be a trick within itself. I'll touch on that a little bit later on. But you're constantly communicating with them. You're constantly communicating with other people you work on with the project, as well as third-party vendors, all right? So it's your idea. It's in your best interest to know how to speak. Speak to convey what you need and what the other person needs, all right? Because it's not always about you, it's about the project, and chances are, if you're working with somebody on a project, they need something just as much as you need something. So you want to speak to them in a way that's going to say, if you give me what I need, I'll give you what you need, and everybody will be happy. Point blank, period. Get it done. Communication, it's important. Fourth aspect of being a better project coordinator is your leadership style. So right now I'm studying the PMBOK. I'm studying how to be a project for my PMP license, my professional project management license. And the leadership styles I derived is directly from the PMBOK 6th edition. First leadership style is a servant leadership style. And this is directly as it sounds. Primary focus is to service others and put the needs of everybody else before yourself. So if your team needs something, your technical lead, if you have one, needs something, if your end users need something, everything else comes before yourself, and possibly even before the objectives you want to meet. Now, this is a great leadership style to have, but it can get in the way, because if you do have an objective to meet, it is now sidelined by the technician who needs something, the customer who needs something, the technical lead who might need something. So as you can see, this can pile up if you let it. So proceed with caution when adapting this servant leadership style. The second leadership style is going to be more of the transactional leadership style. And this is often called the management by exception, because transactional means like you give somebody something when they give it to you. So you reward positive behavior, but the management by exception is that you also punish negative behavior. So when somebody does something on a project that's good, benefits everybody, great. I give you a reward. You can come in late, or you can leave early today. However, when somebody does something bad, like comes in late on their own, an hour, 2 hours, after schedule, you've had that happen. Instead of letting it slide, you say, hey, listen, today or tomorrow or sometime this week, you have to stay an extra 2 hours to make up for that time, right? If they don't do it, then it's your job. You talk to management so they can deal with it accordingly, all right? And that's your transactional leadership. That's management by exception. Your third leadership style is directly derived from the French word laissez-faire. It's more of a hands-off approach, Laissez-faire means, it sounds directly as it is. It's kind of the lazy leadership style, all right? This could do well if you have a team who not only knows exactly what they're supposed to do, but exactly how they're supposed to do it, and are self-motivated individuals. All right, that'll work well for you if you have those type of individuals on your team. If you do, great. You can take a hands-off approach. You just give them what they need to do for the day, and you say, "Hey, I'll be in there making coffee or whatever the heck you want to do," in full confidence that they will complete the objectives for the day. That's a great leadership style. Of course, I don't recommend it because things can get quickly out of hand if something out of the ordinary happens and you're not aware of it. Your fourth leadership style is a transformational leadership style. And transformational is when you as an individual, you inspire and you motivate the individuals who work under you. You're just so much this individual that they go through this transformation to where they're thrilled to do the work, because you're just such an awe-inspiring figure. The fifth leadership style is similar to the fourth, is charismatic leadership style. And this is who you are as an individual. You're just so charismatic and just so, you're just so likable that they just want to do things for you. They just want to complete the objectives for you. That's great. If you have that leadership style, I recommend to lean heavily on it. Like myself, I am very charismatic. If you don't realize, you probably don't realize I'm lying through my teeth. But if you have that kind of leadership style and you're a charismatic person, lean heavily on that leadership style. And your sixth and final leadership style is going to be the interactional leadership style, which is actually a hybrid of all three: transactional, transformational, and charismatic. So who you are as an individual, your team is transformed into these motivated people who just want to work for you. They find you very charismatic. They like you a whole bunch, even though you may punish them for negative behavior, right? So that's all three. And of course, this is the leadership style you want to strive to because it's the most balanced and the best towards meeting the project objectives and keeping your team happy. Now, speaking of your team, this is the fifth aspect of the blueprint. Your team is always going to consist of yourself first. If you work in the IT field, your technical lead, just somebody who has more technical skills than you, and your technicians, the ones who are actually completing the objectives of the project. So your team, within your team, you're going to be working with different personalities. All right, that's important to understand. And I'm going to tell you, the same way you speak to customers and maintaining a cool and calm demeanor, you may find yourself having to maintain that with your team as well. It'd be great if everybody got along, everybody was honky-dory, but with different personalities, you never know. Sometimes there's something you may do to rub somebody the wrong way. You won't even know it. They might even tell you, but it'll keep building up, and therein will be that friction within the team that you don't know how it manifested, but it is there. It reminds me of my last position. There was a lot of friction with myself and a couple of my technicians. One kept coming in late. I tried to hold him accountable. And another one just basically, I guess, didn't like my personality and was prepared not to be a professional about it. You yourself, you have to be a professional because no matter what, you're never going to want to be pulled into that type of interaction with another individual, especially at work. That's not a good thing. The sixth aspect of being a better project coordinator is your management. Now, management is important because management, first, you're going to always want to maintain good communication with management. Not only good communication, but immediate communication. And that speaks to if anything bad happens on the project, or even anything good, you're going to want to let management know immediately. Now, I know the bad is obvious. Of course, if something goes bad on the project, you're going to want to let them know. But what I mean by if something happens good, I mean, there's three aspects to every project. There's the time, there's the scope, and then there's the cost of the project. And I didn't mean to give you the backwards middle finger. That's the cost of the project, right? If something good happens, as if something is completed before the time allotted, you're going to want to let management know about it, because possibly they can use that extra time they have towards another aspect of the project that they can now introduce because they have the extra time, or even cost. If something is done before the time allotted, chances are it's done at the less of a cost than what was originally thought of. So now that you have that extra money, you can use that extra money for something else in the project. So good or bad, you're always going to want to have immediate communication with management. You're going to want to maintain good reports, and just overall, you just want to let them know the progress of the project as it is happening. That's important. The seventh and final aspect of the blueprint involved in being a better project coordinator is directly reflected on the technological field, and that's your technical skills. Now, myself, I had the privilege of having an A+ and Net+ certification before I got into the project management field, and it's helped me immensely in terms of just being able to understand technical projects better. Not only that, but also my troubleshooting skills have vastly improved as far as helping end users and customers. There's sometimes end users have printer troubles where I'm able to help them fix their printers, or just troubles with an application where I'm able to fix it myself instead of bothering the technical lead on it. Therefore, they're being hindering the project in any way. He or she is allowed to do what they do, and I can do it sometimes without even their knowledge. Just come up with a quick solution, fix it, and the project could go on as normal. So it's a great thing to have. Just a background of the A+ and Net+ certification, and those are basically the hardware and software, the computers. Net+ is more geared towards the networking of a computer system. So that's a good just overall basis to have within your acumen. Mobile phones is another common thing. No matter what industry you work in, you may run into some execs. If you work in the healthcare industry, you may run into some doctors who have mobile phones. They don't have the privilege of sitting at their computers all day in their office, so they carry around these mobile phones. And one of the big things they want is their emails on their phones. So if you have some knowledge about how to, just get your emails on the phone or something quick like that, you can do it real quick for them, no issues. And not only will it make your organization look better and your department look better, but it'll make you look better as an individual. And it's important, carry around a card, so when you do fix the issue, they'll look at you like, oh, this individual really helped me out. And it'll help you if you give them a card and be like, this is who I am, my name is this and that. If you have any problems, you can reach me at this number, and you look like a very, very good professional. So I touched on VBA, Visual Basic for Applications for Excel. Another technical skill you may want to familiarize yourself with that's coming more popular nowadays is Python. Python is a programming language that is almost like a step up from Visual Basics, as far as it can be used to automate common duties that you do every day, common tasks that you do every day. You can use Python to automate that, to take care of that. As a project coordinator, remember I said one of the most important aspects of being a better project coordinator is communication. Now, I don't know if you heard about it, but there's this Toastmasters. They have Toastmasters which is geared towards public speaking, and it'll help you just be a better overall public speaker. I know everybody has their quirks. I'm sure you're looking at me right now. You can see I probably have quirks. As one big thing being braces. It's hard to speak with braces, but I'm managing. But I've had to get used to that, and I've had to learn how to communicate so people don't focus on the braces, because you can get caught up and just be like, and just get caught up in the braces. But you know, I try to make it so that, you know, you look beyond that and you understand what I'm trying to tell you. But Toastmasters is a good organization that can help you with public speaking. All right. Now let's get into part 2, which is the career path of a project coordinator. So 2016 to 2026, I just want to go over some stats. There's an 8% growth as a project manager, 11% growth as a construction project manager, and a 12% growth as an informational technology project manager. And I say all that to say that the most common and you could say ultimate career field to go to from a project coordinator is project manager, right? That's the ultimate. Of course, you know, you then derive other executive positions from whatever career field you may be in. Technology, you maybe want to become a chief information officer, or if you're in IT security, a chief information security officer, a CISO, something of that effect. But a project manager is what you see right now at the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. It's what I'm doing. As I said, I'm studying my PMP. But what I want to do is I want to go over some positions in between project coordinator and project manager. All right, there's a lot of interim positions, if you will. Some of the more common project positions before project manager is a project scheduler being one. So a project coordinator, it does have its limitations as far as exposure wise and also compensation wise. I know they have different levels as far as project coordinator 1, project coordinator 2, but that's a little rare. So a common interim position you might find is a project scheduler. And a project scheduler is just as it sounds. You deal mostly with scheduling of projects. You know, you might have multiple projects. You'll deal with the scheduling of what's to be completed. You'll deal with the scheduling of the resources that need to come so that the objectives can be completed. You may even deal with procurement of some materials, but ultimately your whole role is revolving around the schedule of different resources in order to get the project goals met. Another common position you'll see is assistant junior project manager. With this, you're moving closer to the project management role. So it may not require like 5 to 10 years experience in this career field or with this tool, but assistant project manager, it'll pretty much require 3 to 5 years of some experience within some career field. So it's not a project manager, but it's right under the cusp of a project manager, and chances are you'll be working directly with a senior project manager to gain that experience and that knowledge. So those are two of the more common interim positions between project coordinator and project manager. Now here's the good part. Here's the not so common positions that you may find in moving to project manager. One is a business analyst. Now, as a project coordinator within the IT field, say you're familiar with SDLC, software development lifecycle, you know that half the battle is getting the requirements of new software from the business side in order to pass to the development side so they can develop the code, and then they write the test script so that you can pass back to the business side so the business side could test it in the production environment, not production, in the real world like environment before you actually put it into production. The business analyst is the one who derives these requirements from the business side. All right. So they talk to the business and they figure out, hey, business, you want this software to do this. What else would you like it to do? How would you like it to do that? How often would you like it to do that? And then it's the business analyst side to write these user stories and conduct these interviews to get these user stories with the specific requirements needed in order to pass to the development side so they can develop the code to do exactly what the business needs. Business analyst is a whole another career within itself. It could be used to gain very good experience on your path to become a project manager, or it can be used as a totally separate career itself. Business analyst is a totally separate career itself. So you can do very well to jump into business analyst, no matter if you stick with project management or not. Another not so common position is, I listed 3 parts: specialist, consultant, or training. So depending on what you work in, take a drink of water. Depending on what you work in, you can specialize in something if you're a project coordinator. Maybe you like the customer service aspect of that, and you just want to be a customer service analyst or some kind of customer service operations analyst. You can do that. Say you like the aspect of teaching the customers or the end users how to use something or how to familiarize themselves with the product. You know, the product is finished and now you're essentially training the customers on how to use that product. If you like that aspect of the project most, you can then become a training coordinator, if you will. You can coordinate the different educational tools that you can use in order to familiarize the customer with whatever they need, whatever service or end product that they need to use. Lastly, it's a consultant. You can also actually get a consultant license from, I believe it's the IMAC. I'm going to put that down in the link. But you can actually get a consultant license to where you could embark on your own, and you can essentially be a consultant using your project coordinator skills to benefit any project that you walk into. And you won't necessarily have to stay from start to finish. You'll just help that project gear itself towards whatever your skills may be. They'll pay you, and then you'll move on to the next project. That's actually a goal of mine, to be a consultant. I'm still trying to work out what aspect I want to be a consultant in. As far as, I know I want to be in the IT field, but I don't know if I want to be a consultant in security field or in the SDLC. I'm not sure yet. And lastly, another position that's not so familiar, but one you may be familiar with, is quality assurance. Quality assurance is a very familiar job within the SDLC or IT field. Also very familiar within the healthcare field. And really in any sector, you can find a last safety check or quality check of anything that you're doing. Quality assurance, a good way you can go about this is you can get your, I believe what they call your OSHA 10 or your OSHA 30 certification. It's mostly geared towards the construction field, but it's a good jumping off point if you want to be under that branch. You want to be geared more towards safety and risk assessment, if you will. So quality assurance is very much a field that you could look into after project coordination, before project management. All right, so let's move on to the third and last part, which is the future trends of project management. All right. Now, the future trends of project management, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with what's going on right now in terms of, the status of everything closing down. My condolences to anybody who's lost somebody during this, just this tumultuous time. COVID has affected everybody's life in one way or another, and I hope everybody's still remaining safe and, of course, wearing their mask, because that's the important thing. Keeping everybody else safe, not just yourself, but your family and loved ones. With that said, a future trend of project management is remote work. With technology with technology still growing and everything we have at our aspect, we're able to work with different departments in a remote aspect and still get the same amount of work done, if not even more. If I'm here, I could be working in my pajamas. I could be talking to somebody in Italy. They might be on different time zones, but I could be talking to him in order to give him what he needs to get another aspect of the project done, and vice versa. You know what I mean? Remote work has actually been on the rise since like 2012, and it not only allows more flexibility in the scheduling of the project, but some of the project costs have been reduced, and it also allows the project to pull from a more diverse talent pool. So it could benefit you as well. You're not only exposed to the people who you might work with in the office, but now you're exposed to people who work in the same position internationally, and you get to see the little differences in culture and just the little nuances of what they take the position to be, right? Second trend is hybrid PM methodologies. So in my opinion, waterfall is still the boss project management methodology. Waterfall is more like everything is defined at the beginning, and then you build it out straight to the end, and then you better have it exactly as it is. Now, I know a growing project management methodology is agile, and agile came about because if somebody told you to build a shelf, and then a month from now you built that shelf, within that month, somebody came up with, hey man, instead of it being dark cherry wood, I want it to be a pine shelf, or instead of it being a plain shelf, I want my shelf to have these cool lightning bolts on the side, or something or another like that. Agile came about with a way to satisfy a customer, so to speak. So if the customer had a change like this within the duration of the project, they could then communicate this to the project manager, and the project manager could implement this quickly into the project. So instead of everything being determined at the beginning and just going straight to the end to get the end result, agile is more like sprints. All right. So you define a little at the beginning, you build it out, and then next sprint you define a little bit more of it, and then you build it out, and you see how it looks, and then you define a little bit more of it, and then you build it out, and you say, oh, I want little grooves in the shelf or something. All right. So it's sprints. So that's agile. Agile is becoming a very much a common methodology, even more so than waterfall, but still waterfall is the basis of it. But with that said, hybrid PM methodology is the combination of it. So you combine not only waterfall, but you combine agile, and you may combine Prince 2. You may combine Kanban, Scrum, which is specific to the SDLC or software development. You may combine some Lean Six Sigma, which is specific to the business side element of things. All right, so hybrid PM methodologies, or the combination of methodologies, is becoming more and more common as we get deeper into the project management field. Third aspect, and it's a very important aspect, is EQ, or emotional intelligence. All right. It's funny that this is so prominent now, but it makes sense because as technology is growing, people are. I guess I'm gonna come right out and say people are not getting what they need. Technology is great, but it creates like this clear sheen on everything, or like this almost museum-like feel on everything, to where, not everything is so attainable through touch and smell, and not everything is so in your face anymore. Everything is through computer screens and through a blue light, and people are not getting what they need in terms of human interaction anymore. So you have a lot of emotional needs needing to be met within the work environment. And as a project coordinator, one thing that is growing is it's important for you to have emotional intelligence, or what they call soft skills, as a project coordinator. As I said, you will be working with a team, and it's important for you to understand who you're working with in order to get the best productivity. And I don't want that to sound like deceptive in a way, like, okay, I'm just listening to you right now so that you can do this for me later. Like you genuinely want to care about what somebody is going through at work or at home. Just because you have to you work with them, people work better when they feel better around people that they think like them. It's just people work better around people who like them or who are likable. That's the way it is. It's always been that way. So having emotional intelligence is important. You anticipate the needs of your team. You can understand what motivates them. And you can identify and remove any potential roadblocks that could happen before they impact the project. That's important. The fourth aspect, future trends of project management, is change management. Now, change management is actually different from project management, and actually change management is affecting this landscape now more than ever, because a lot of businesses are finding they have to make small adjustments to some core internal processes that are just not working anymore. They're just not working in this particular e-commerce landscape. So it may not be a project which you have to implement something new, but it may be a change to where you have to take something that's existing and just kind of change it so that its operations are a little bit different, whether it be the medium that it's using, or even the product or service that it's producing. It's just a little bit to become a better fit within this landscape. So change management is a quickly growing future trend in project management, and it's something you can actually list on your resume to better service you or make you stand out from other project coordinators. Lastly, I want to include the last aspect is the inclusion of artificial intelligence and big data. All right, and I included this last because big data is everywhere nowadays. Big data is what big companies use. I don't know if you ever read this book, The Big Four by Scott Calloway. I'll put a link in the description. But big data used by the Big Four, Amazon, Google, Walmart, Facebook. It's what they use to create business value every day. It's what they use as people traverse the internet, online shopping, or looking at videos, or whatever they do on the internet. These Big Four and other companies are using this information to make informed decisions on how to gear people towards doing what they want. If it's purchasing something or, looking at something, whatever they have you. But big data is how project management is what we're using to make informed decisions on how to best handle certain projects, or even how to form better teams and position team members to use the skills in the best way possible. You know, it's like in project management where you might be doing the same project as a project that was done 2 years ago. You use that historical information so that you could do a better project in a more timely manner. But with big data, it's like you're using real-time information to get a better idea of what the customer needs and what they may not need, even if they don't know it. You know, so big data is a very big thing. Artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is almost like it's almost like a step up from what I was talking about earlier as far as Visual Basics for applications in Python. Artificial intelligence is the use of technology to get done what you need before you even know you need it. You know, artificial intelligence it helps to automate tasks that you may not even know that you needed automated, or you may not even think it's possible to automate, so that you as a project manager are allowed to better focus on the innovation aspect of the project, and possibly implementing new processes into the project. All right, so artificial intelligence actually takes a more forward role in completing the project, the menial task or the more common task of the project, and you or the project manager are allowed to focus on, okay, I know that's being done, but what can we do to streamline that process, or you know, we've been doing this for years. What could be done to innovate something new in that industry? You know, that's what artificial intelligence is allowing you as a project manager to do. It's helping you so you can not only become a better project manager, but you can be a better project coordinator. Listen, I appreciate you staying for the end of this video. I hope I gave you something to think about. I hope it was informative. Lastly, I'm going to leave you with my guy here, the chef. 3 ingredients to making a better project coordinator: your skills, your career trajectory, and your future trends. You mix that all in the pot, and you got some good stuff. All right? Thanks for sticking around. We're going to come at you with another video. Please leave a comment. Please smash the like button. And let me know what you think and how it could be better. All right? Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys soon.